Alright, so we don't have a clip today, at least not in this one, but we still have something that we're going to talk about. The NRA. We know it's a joke. We know the NRA is completely bogus. They've filed for bankruptcy more than one time. They filed for bankruptcy not too long ago. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head. But I've been researching for different videos, bigger projects, and I'm going to do this, not just me sitting in front of the camera talking about stuff about this. And I've stumbled across this page more than one time, but I've really stuck around and read it this time, and it's fucking crazy. So today the video is about the NRA's page on their official website about background checks, and we're going to read their... I'm going to put myself over here so you guys can see it too. We're going to read their reasons for why background checks are, why the NRA opposes background checks. Because I have no idea. I don't know. So the first point says, NRA opposes expanding firearm background check systems because background checks don't stop criminals from getting firearms. Because some proposals to do so would deprive individuals of due process of law, and because NRA opposes firearm registration. So, again, this isn't something that needs to be said or iterated for the first time, but, the fact that they're even saying something like they oppose background check systems and firearm registration just kind of says that they don't really care or stand for what they say they do. They call themselves the National Rifle Association, and here they are saying that, they don't really care about the safety of guns or gun owners or literally anybody for that matter, because firearm registration and background checks, just both in general, are somehow bad and somehow deprive individuals of due process of law of legally acquiring firearms. And I don't understand this point. That's just not true. You can look up evidence of this. That's not right at all. It's not. And I have some strong opinions about firearms that I'm not going to share in the video, but this is just, this is just bullet points. They don't even provide evidence of anything here, except for this one thing here. So the next point. Background checks don't necessarily stop criminals from getting firearms. Federal studies have repeatedly found that persons in prison for firearm crimes get their firearms mostly through theft, the black market, or family members or friends. Not true. Again, it's not true. And then they cite the Bureau of Justice Statistics, no link, no anything. But again, a lot of the, and I hate to say this, but a lot of the big mass shooters that we've seen in a lot of the big killings, the big mass shooting events that have happened in the past decade have been Uvalde. That guy legally acquired his firearms. So again, saying that we need less checks and less boundaries for people to acquire guns is a ridiculous claim. It's ridiculous. They're pretty much, according to what they've said so far, there's nothing you can do to stop people from killing other people, so they should just drop everything and not do any type of vetting for people to get a gun so everybody can have a gun. Most mass shooters, including those inspired by Islamic terrorist groups, pass background checks to acquire firearms. So they included this in the article, but I feel like this works against what they're saying in a lot of different ways. I don't, that just means that we need to, in my opinion, improve on the system or have a much stronger system of, checking if people can own a firearm or are allowed to have a firearm. This isn't, something that's like, well, most of the people that are mass shooters, they actually pass the background check, so we should just get rid of them. This isn't the point that they think it is. I don't know who decided to include this on here, but that's I thought that was pretty funny. The ATF has said that nearly half of illegally trafficked firearms originate with straw purchasers. People who pass background checks to buy firearms are criminals. The terrorists who attacked in San Bernardino in 2015 got firearms from a straw purchaser who passed a background check. So the ATF, you know, I would encourage most people to go and really research the ATF for themselves. But something that I can tell you about the ATF recently is and you can research this for yourself. I don't want to say anything that's not true or mislead anybody, but the ATF very recently, this year I do believe, has been supplying around the country in I guess you could say high crime, high violent crime areas of the country. They have been supplying sears, auto sears or auto switches for pistols. And what these sears do is you put it on your pistol and it literally turns a semi-automatic pistol into an automatic pistol. And the ATF has been supplying these. They were supplying these. I don't know if they currently still are, but you can go and look this up. So trusting what the ATF has to say about anything at all, literally, they are a government body, they're supposed to be trustworthy, but again, you can go and look up what I said for yourself. This is what I said is true. I don't know if this is true. I'm not even going to research it because, again, I don't trust the ATF. I do not think that they have, people's best interest in mind with the things that they've done recently. And here's another thing. Federal law requires firearms dealers, regardless of location, to initiate a background check before selling or otherwise transferring a firearm to a person who is not a dealer. So this point is, again, it's nothing. It's literally nothing because they say federal law requires firearm dealers. So a private transfer, they don't mention this at all. The private transfer is literally not mentioned in this entire list. It's just not mentioned. If I was going to, as a private in my state, as a private citizen, sell a firearm to another individual, I'm not a firearms dealer, a licensed firearms dealer, because I don't have to be a licensed firearms dealer. I can sell a gun, not run a background check, not do any type of vetting to anybody that I want. I don't have to run a background check. I can sell a firearm to whoever I want. Next day, that firearm's used in a shooting, a killing, a crime, whatever you want to say. I don't have to run a background check. I don't. Again, they say firearm dealers. They mean licensed, federally licensed dealers. That's what they mean. They mean licensed firearm dealers. So you walk into a gun shop, maybe you know somebody that, they have a business, they sell guns. They have to have a license to do that. That does require a background check. They don't mention private sales at all because they're trying to create this false narrative. And I've said this so many times, and I'm going to continue to say it. Conservative and Republicans love to create a false narrative and then, say all these different types of things like they're being attacked and this and that, and it's ridiculous. They don't mention private sales because they know that is where the loophole, and we're going to get to this now. There is no gun show loophole. Federal law is the same regardless of where a firearm sale takes place. So the gun show loophole is, this one's a little more, tedious, I guess you could say, than some of the other ones. But if you hear people refer as the gun show loophole or refer to something as the gun show loophole, what the gun show loophole is people going to a gun show, again, buying a firearm from a private seller, and they don't have to run a background check. Now, some states, not all states, but some states at gun shows, they will have police officers, different government officials there, government workers that are supposed to run background checks or monitor what's going on at the background or at the gun show, excuse me. Not all states have this, and I can say this specifically for the gun show part, because there's another part of this that this isn't true for, but statistically speaking, most guns acquired through gun shows are not used in crimes, so the gun show loophole it is a problem. It is definitely a problem that needs to be addressed. We need to address the gun show loophole, but there's not a lot of crimes that involve gun crimes that involve guns that were acquired through a gun show loophole. The main point is the online loophole, where again, there are websites you can go on right now, like armslist.com, and you can go and research this for yourself, where you can go and it's literally like eBay or Craigslist, whichever one you prefer. It's like Craigslist for guns. It's like eBay for guns. You go on there, there's a list of firearms. They have the state, the location, and you don't do background checks. You can literally just go and buy a gun, and there's no one stopping you from doing so. Nobody. Yeah, you have to put information when you go on the website. It says, "Are you 21?" But all you have to do is hit the little box and say that I'm 21. They don't vet you. They don't require any identification. There's nothing they do to stop anybody from literally going and buying a gun. You could literally travel to another state, regardless of it being against the law, because it is against the law. You could go to another state on armslist.com, purchase a firearm for someone that has a listing, or drive it back to your state, do whatever you want with it. Yeah, that's against the law. It's illegal, but there's so much free range when it comes to firearms and acquiring a firearm that no one's stopping you from doing that. Nobody's stopping anybody. The laws are so loopholes, are so loose that you can go do that right now if you really wanted to. There is no online sales loophole. This is the point that I was just making. Federal law is the same. Federal law is the same. You know that if people keep saying the same thing over and over, it's, especially when it's something like this, it's probably not the best argument. Regardless of how people communicate about selling/buying a firearm, federal law prohibits anyone, licensed firearm dealer or not, from shipping a firearm to a person who lives in another state unless that person is also a dealer. Dealers must document all firearms they receive. Again, they are only talking about firearms dealers. Again, not one fucking time, do they talk about private sale or private transfer of a firearm from one non-dealer to another. They don't mention this because that would make this entire fucking article or list or whatever it is completely fucking void. It would just make it nothing. They don't even mention it at all. They just keep talking about federally licensed dealers, which do have laws you have to follow, and dealers must document all firearms they receive. This isn't entirely true either. This part is not entirely true. There are some parts of the country where you don't have to do that. You don't have to keep any documentation, actually, at all, of what is received, kept, sold, whatever you want to say. So that's not even true. That's not even entirely true. But, again, no one, the NRA is a joke. We all know this. They fired for bankruptcy so many different times. They've been in so much controversy over their years of existence. I just wanted to make a quick little video proving their little tab on background checks incorrect, because we know it's incorrect. We know that, all this shit that was in there is fucking garbage. It's literally trash. Because it's so easy to disprove, and it's so easy to prove that what they're saying and what they're trying to convey, the message, is it's dangerous. We need more gun control. We need stronger policy on things like firearms because of how much crime we have here. We're the only country in this entire fucking planet where mass shootings happen at the rate that they do. It's ridiculous. Other countries have done things like extreme gun control and gotten things like shootings, under control. A lot of people, you'll hear this from people that are pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun, whatever. They say, oh, well, Australia has mass shootings, or New Zealand, or these other countries, and then you look at their mass shootings, and it's not even comparable. They're not even mass shootings, some of them, compared to the United States of America. Again, there's so many arguments, so many different things you could say against pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun, why we absolutely need, it's not a want, it's an absolute need to have stronger gun policy, gun reform in this country, because stuff like Sandy Hook and stuff like Uvalde, Texas, the Dark Knight shooting, Aurora, Pulse nightclub, Parkland. It doesn't matter the circumstances regarding the shooting. The thing that matters is there are more firearms in this country than there are citizens. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason for something like that to be a reality in the freest country in the world. Uh, a lot of people will say this: America is the safest country. No, it's not. And when you have something like the National Rifle Association, it has a whole page dedicated to why background checks are somehow bad, and talking about why gun registration and all of these things that are small steps that we can take to making sure that these heinous crimes don't continually happen. It makes you wonder, why, how often do we get lied to from these people? How often do we get fed bullshit that's just not true about this country? It's every fucking day. It's 100% of the time, and I wish it wasn't like that. I don't want it to be like that, but that's all I have for this video. I know it was kind of rambling at the end there, but if you like this video, hit the like button. Walk on over to the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the little bell with all notifications on so you never miss an upload.